Welcome to your Friday night movie recommendation. I'm Mark Monlux. The year is 1954. Now let's give you an idea of some of the things that were happening in 1954. Martin Luther King won the Nobel Peace Prize. The Olympics, Summer Olympics, were being held in Tokyo. The the bodies of three civil rights workers were found buried in Mississippi, and the Senate voted on the Civil Rights Act. Also, the first Ford Mustang rolled off the assembly line. So, and the U.S. Surgeon General released a report connecting, get this, cigarettes with cancer and heart disease. So things were being revealed all over the place in 1964. Now, it should give you, here's some of the pop things that were happening in 1964. I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles was in the number one slot. Beatlemania was basically shaking. They come over to the U.S. Beatlemania was in full effect. The best picture at the Oscars was Tom Jones. There are a bunch of really good television shows were premiering. This is the stuff that I grew up on. Bewitched, The Addams Family, The Munster Family, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Gilligan's Island, Johnny Quest. Those are just some of the few that were coming out right then. Now, I did mention that at the Oscars, Tom Jones won the best film. Well, Sidney Poitier won. He won best actor, and this was the first time that a black man won in the best actor category, and that was for Lilies in the Field. Now, the movie I'm going to recommend from 1964 stars my man Vincent Price. I'm a huge Vincent Price fan, and it's called I Am Legend. Now, it was directed by, let's see, what does my note say here? It was actually directed by two different guys, Sidney Salco. Now, Sidney Salco had directed a lot of different types of movies. You know, he did swashbucklers like, The Prince of Pirates, noir films like Chicago Confidential, and westerns like The Iron Sheriff. So, doing something, he had also done another horror movie previous to this with Vincent Price, but and I gave it away right there. This is a horror movie starring. I said that from the very beginning. Vincent Price. This is one of his best horror movies, I think, because he plays it so straight. And this is I Am Legend. Oh, pardon me. Not I Am Legend. This is The Last Man on Earth. Oh, man. It's from the novel I Am Legend. So, and this story captivated me. I would dig through the Reader's Digest every week to see if this movie ever came back in, and every time it came up, I would watch it. It's a story of a virus, a pandemic, sweeps the world, and basically turns people into vampires. And Vincent Price is the last man on Earth, and he's managed to hold himself up. He barricade himself away, and during the daytime when the vampires are weak, he goes out and depopulates, as it were. He spends his nights sharpening stakes and then going out and ridding the world of this vampirism. And he's also trying to figure out a way for a cure for this. Now, he just didn't pop into this situation. This story, it goes from, as the outbreak happens, how people are dealing with it. And of course, this also has to happen very rapidly in movie time. And I had never seen Vincent Price play such a wounded individual before. You could sense his despair and loneliness. And that was one of the reasons this kept his whole scenario of having to, defend himself, to barricade, to me against the world type scenario. I just honed in on that so much. Now, it's a very popular thematic story, but it hadn't really been shown on the big screen until then. Now, the other director in this film is a guy named Ubaldo Ragona. And he had done a couple of documentaries, but he was an Italian documentary. And the reason he is co-directed on this film is because for budget purposes, a lot of this film was done in Italy. So a lot of the cast and a lot of the extras were Italian, which meant a lot of dubbing later on. So the production value is not as great as it could be. At one time, a different director was set up. The guy who did Metropolis. And when one of the producers found out that they got Sidney Salco instead, they kind of said, well, that's a little bit of a step down. But honestly, I think Sidney Salco managed to pull it off. This story, the original novel, I Am Legend, a lot of people think this movie is pretty close to that original novel. Now, the thing is, and this got really exciting, that years later, in the 70s, another movie came out called The Omega Man, and with Charleston Heston, and I really loved that one too because it's basically it's basically I Am Legend, but in an updated format. So then again, I think it was in 2006, thereabouts, Will Smith was in a film called I Am Legend, which again is taken from the story I Am Legend. I thought that was a very good telling of the story, but again, maybe not as complete and as to the original telling. That particular movie, if you didn't know, originally had a different ending that was more true to the story in the book, but didn't test well, so they came up with a different ending. I would love to see the story I Am Legend done again. This is just basically a really good story, and all three of those versions captivated me, each and every one. But I really have a very soft spot in my heart for the original, and I highly recommend that you seek Vincent Price out. Watch this performance of him in The Last Man on Earth. Now, if you like my movie recommendations, I hope that you will click like, follow, share, do all those things. If you're watching this, check out the links I might have provided for the trailer. But I don't think you'll have a hard time finding it. Oh man, I really enjoy watching Vincent Price in this. I still see him working at the lathe, and I'm thinking he's doing a really bad job. Not acting, but his lathe work needs a little bit of work. Anyway, that's my movie recommendation again, and thanks again for following. Bye.